Hello and welcome to Travel Alchemist. Sadly, we've reached the final destination in our 4-month backpacking trip across Maldives, India, Thailand, Malaysia and Indonesia. And we flew from Bali to Labuan Bajo on the island of Flores. And although the town itself isn't the most beautiful, it does have the most insane sunsets out over the bay. But it's known instead as the gateway to Komodo National Park. And so on the first day here, we took a day trip out with Red Whale over to Komodo Islands. The first stop was Padar Island, famous for its iconic viewpoint as well as its 3 distinct beaches, a white sand beach, a black sand beach, and the most famous pink beach in all of Indonesia. The view from the top was stunning, but even at 8 AM it was incredibly hot. And it started getting very busy. As we were coming down, boatloads of people were just arriving. We were glad we got there early. The second stop of the day was this pink beach, and we could not believe how blue and turquoise the water was, and also how pink it was. I mean, I know it's a pink beach, but I honestly thought the videos were filtered. These are not filtered. This is totally raw image files from my GoPro. Although the beach was absolutely stunning, the thing we were most excited to do here was get under the waves, as we'd heard that the snorkelling at Pink Beach was amazing. As well as loads of fish, there's also obviously lots of red coral, which is what gives the beach its iconic colour. And it did not disappoint. We saw so many fish, and the visibility was really good as well. We didn't have long at Pink Beach, unfortunately, and we basically spent the whole time snorkelling and not really enjoying the beach too much, which in hindsight, I think we wish we had done, simply because the beach is so unique. But under the waves was incredible, and we just loved snorkelling so much. And we knew in the back of our heads that we were going home soon and we wouldn't have much chance to do more snorkelling on this trip. So we absolutely made the most of it. And we kept popping our heads up as well, just to check the pinkness again. From here, we headed over to actual Komodo Island, where we were going to visit the Komodo dragons, which this island region is famous for. They are the largest land lizards in the world. And it's not a myth, they are venomous. In fact, they're very, very dangerous. So we kept our distance. And actually, although this looks close, it was very zoomed on my camera. That's why it's a bit shaky. But they were incredible creatures, absolutely amazing. The next stop on this one-day tour was to head over to a snorkeling spot called Manta Point. Can you guess what we saw there? That's right. This region here in the Komodo National Park is actually a manta cleaning station. So when we saw the mantas in Maldives, we saw them at the surface, circling and feeding. But here, the mantas were on the ocean floor to let cleaner fish like wrasse give them a good clean. We were basically at the manta spa. And although at times they were almost stationary, they were going so slow to let the fish clean them, when they were turning round, they were so fast, it was a workout to keep up with them. Oh yeah, and a spooky jellyfish. Next up was a pink sandbar called Taka Makassar, which had the most unreal turquoise clear waters. This was just a chill stop as there was no corals here, but we thoroughly enjoyed it. And the final stop of the day was a snorkeling point called Turtle Point. Unfortunately, we didn't really see any turtles. We saw one very briefly when we first got off the boat, but we did see some amazing coral formations. The GoPro videos look great here, but the visibility for us was quite poor, so it wasn't as enjoyable as Pink Beach, but it was still insanely good. I mean, Komodo is smack bang in the middle of the coral triangle, so it really has to be. We returned to Labuan Bajo, and since this is our last stop before we return home, we decided to splurge on the last night. And we went to a private resort called Seraya Resort, which is also home to one of the best coral reefs in the Flores area. Our room was stunning, a little beach bungalow directly on the beach with a private bathroom and the most comfortable double bed. But we came here for the snorkelling and it did not disappoint. It was absolutely incredible, right on our doorstep and completely private with basically nobody else here. There was also other activities included in the price, like kayaks and stand-up paddleboards, so we took full advantage of all the amenities. But every time we went out on the kayaks and we looked down through the water, we just wanted to get back in it again, and we kept going back and going back, snorkeling over and over again. We really did try and maximise every moment of these last few days of our trip. Although this hotel was a bit of a splurge at £150 a night, the value for money was insane. In reality, for just £75 each, we had a private resort with a private coral reef, kayaks and loads of activities, and the Komodo day trip cost us about that as well, so we think it was totally worth it. Being such a secluded reef, we did notice the tide changing quite a few times, and although at some times of the day it was absolutely perfect visibility, at other times when the tide seemed to change, it changed dramatically and brought in loads of little jellyfish and stingers too. What an amazing time in Labuan Bajo. I'm so glad we came here and I cannot believe it's the end of our trip. But don't worry, the second leg of our trip, where we head west to Central and South America, will be coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out my blog, travelalchemist.blog. Bye!